Okay, good afternoon. Welcome to the Paris Union High School Board meeting of April 15th, 2020. The board will be respecting recent orders from the Governor of California, the Health Officer of the County of Riverside, and the guidelines for the Center of Disease Control related to maintaining public health and safety at this time. Consistent with these orders and guidelines, this meeting will be held online only, and there will be no physical meeting location open to the public. The board encourages members of the public to join the meeting electronically. In order to submit public comments electronically, please refer to the link at the bottom of the screen. Public comments will be accepted until the board reconvenes the meeting in open session at 5:00 p.m. Item 2.1 is call for order. At this time, I call the meeting to order at 3:33 p.m. I'm going to ask for a roll call to determine a quorum. Dr. Rouse,
I'm here.
um, Mr. Garcia,
I'm here.
Dr. Freeman. Dr. Freeman is not present. We'll put him in later. And myself, I'm Board President Anthony T. Stafford. Okay. I have established, oh, I'm sorry, and, and David Nellison. Where's Dave? He's not on my screen.
Yes, I'm here too.
Okay. Okay. All items, I have established a quorum. All items requiring a vote will be an oral vote for this meeting. So we've done the oral vote. Now we're going to do the electronic vote, and we're waiting for it to come up on the screen. Not for this one? Okay. Item 3.1, invitation to address the Board of Trustees in closed sessions, in closed session items only. Are there any public comments on closed session items?
No comments this evening, Mr. Stafford.
Thank you, Superintendent Bennett. Item 4.1, adjourn to closed session. Do I have a motion to adjourn to closed session? I have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Garcia, and a second by Dr. Arauz. And you can vote now. At this time, we are adjourning to closed session at, oh, we did the oral. Oh, okay. So we're going to do a oral vote to adjourn to closed session. Dr. Rouse?
Aye. Yes.
Yes. Mr. Garcia?
Yes.
Dr. Freeman? Not available. Mr. Nellison?
Yes.
And myself, Mr. Stafford? Yes. Upon a roll call vote being taken, the vote was 4 with 1 absent. 4 passed 4-1. We are adjourning to closed session at 3:36 p.m. It jumped to 7.1.
Okay. Can you hear me, Tony?
I do.
Okay.
uh,
Sorry.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I'm on 7.1,
Okay.
but I want to be on 5.1.
Pull the drop down arrow, Tony, and click 5.1, then take meeting to 5.1.
I just did.
There you go. We're good.
Okay, good.
Okay. Okay, are we live? Okay. I'd like to reconvene in public session. Wait a minute. Okay, the board meeting will reconvene at approximately 5:12 p.m. with Perris Union High School District. Item 6. Pledge of allegiance. Okay, so at this time we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the
Allegiance
flag
to the flag
of the
of
United
the United
States of
States of
America
America
and to the
and to the
republic
republic
for which it stands,
stands,
one nation,
One nation,
under
God,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
and
and
justice
justice
for
for
justice
all.
for all.
Thank you.
that was weird.
At this
Little
time, can
difficult.
we remain standing?
We have item 6.1, the invocation by Trustee Garcia.
Yes, if we could remain standing, and a moment of silence for all the hard times and the pandemic that's going on, and let's pray for the ease and the comforting of everyone during these hard times.
Thank you, Trustee.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia.
Yes, sir.
At this time, we're going to recess into the California Institute meeting. This is item 7.1 at 5:13 p.m. We will close the regular board meeting and recess. And we'll wait a minute and then we'll reopen the meeting for CMI. Okay, at 5:14. We're having some technical difficulties, so we'll get it straightened out. Okay.
Mr. Nelson, did you get logged into the CMI meeting?
I was waiting for him to for Tony to say it was open. I'm sorry.
You can join the meeting now.
Okay, I'm good.
Randy, are you in the CMI meeting?
Doesn't look like it. I was, and then it clicked me out. So,
You're in. You're good. Never mind.
okay.
Okay, at this time, we'd like to call to order the regular board meeting of the California Military Institute at 5:16 p.m. Are we up? I did.
I'm on 3.1, Tony, so you've
So am I.
taken us.
Okay, I'm on 2.1, so let's go here. 3.1. There we have it. Okay. So are we called to order? Did that go through? Okay. 3.1 is revision, adoption, ordering of agenda. It's an
So
action.
moved.
Second.
Do I have a motion? We have the two motions. So moved was by
Mr. Nellison, myself.
Mr. Nellison.
Mr. Orao was the second.
Yes.
Did somebody second the motion?
Yes,
Dr.
Dr. Rao
Orao
did.
did.
Randy did. Dr. Freeman.
Dr. Rao
Thank
did.
you.
Okay, we'll wait to vote. You can vote now.
Oh, this is cool.
We were waiting for one vote. Dr. Rao?
It's me, but I was on the full screen. I'm trying to get off of the full screen in order to access. Okay, exit full screen. Okay.
We're going to do an oral vote. Also.
Right there, Tony.
Okay. So if everybody would do their oral vote, I have Trustee Garcia. Aye. Trustee Nellison.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
I.
Dr. Araus.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
What about you, Mr.
And
Spencer?
myself, Board President. Aye. Okay. Let's move to it hasn't moved. Okay, so it passes 5-0. It's you can't hear me? Is that better? Check, check.
I can hear you.
Okay,
I can hear
sorry.
you.
I'm sorry, gentlemen.
All right. I screwed up enough.
Okay. We're doing a quite little adjustment. And can I move back to board IC? Okay, test. Okay. Item 4.1, is CMITA President Mitchell Osborne. Okay, no report tonight. Next item is 4.2, Principals Update. There will be no report tonight. Written reports, we have item 5.1, Discipline, the March 2020 monthly suspension reports. Then we move to invitation to address the Board of Trustees. Item 6.1 on non-agendized items. We have no takers. Okay. We move to the consent calendar. This is an action item.
So moved. Mr. Nelson.
So move, Mr. Nelson.
Second.
Go ahead, Mr. Freeman. You
Okay.
have it.
Second, Dr. Freeman.
I'm
Okay,
louder than Ed.
now we're going to go to the vote, and we're going to also take an oral vote. Okay. So after your vote, we'll take the oral. We still need two. And one more. Okay, we have Trustee Garcia. Yes. Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Dr. Arau. Dr. Arau.
Aye.
Okay. And myself, President Stafford, aye. So item, what are we on? 7.1 passes 5-0. Okay. Our next item is action item 8.1, personnel, certificated personnel action items.
So
So-
moved.
Do I have a
Second.
motion?
So moved.
Okay, so.
And I have the second.
Mhm. Okay, we're going to vote, but we're going to do an oral vote also. Second was
Mr. Nelson.
Mr. Nelson. Okay, wait for your vote. And we'll also do the oral vote. Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Dr. Arau,
Aye.
and myself, President Stafford, aye. 8.1 passes 5-0. 8.2 is personnel action. It's classified personnel action items. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. Let's give a chance to record that. So we had Trustee Garcia, and the second was
Dr. Rao.
Dr. Rao.
Second.
Okay. Let's wait to vote. You can vote, and then we'll do an oral vote afterwards. Got two more. Okay, 8.2 passes 5-0. And we can move to,
Did we need the oral vote?
The oral vote.
oh, I thought we did the oral vote. Okay, seems like repetitious. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, on the oral vote, we have Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Dr. Arau,
Aye.
and myself, President Stafford. Aye. Okay, 8.2 passes 5-0. 9.1 is other items by the superintendent.
The only thing I would like to share is today I got the opportunity to go over to CMI and I walked the campus. And it's great to see that the gym is up as high as it's going to go. They're waiting for the steel now to put the roof on. So the project's moving forward very quickly. And tomorrow they're starting the new drop off out front to widen that area and create a safer spot for the kids to get to school every day. So
Yeah.
moving along. That's the one thing that's gone with this whole pandemic thing.
Mhm.
With the schools closed, we're actually getting started on some of our projects earlier.
Yes,
Good.
yes.
One bright thing.
Okay.
That would do my report for this evening.
Okay. Other items by the Board of Trustees. Item 10.1. We have Trustee Garcia.
I would like to thank everybody, whether they're essential or non-essential. To us, you're essential regardless. But you're all doing a wonderful job, Mr. Bennett. You're doing a great job running this district while we're closed. You're making great decisions, and we appreciate you for all you're doing. Um, so whoever is in the district office, or whether they're in the field or serving the community, please let them know that we appreciate their help. And I pray that no one else gets sick and everybody's good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Trustee Nellison.
What Mr. Garcia said, ditto.
Okay.
No, he took almost every single word I was going to say, but I appreciate the thought. So yeah, ditto.
That's great. He did a great job there. Dr. Freeman.
Double ditto.
That was it. Okay. Dr. Rao.
You're muted. There you go.
Same thing. I just want to add a thank you to Mr. Bennett, cabinet members, and our teachers, all of our certificated staff who continue to work from home. And I know our teachers are doing an extremely awesome job, great job providing the learning opportunities for our students. That is really, really appreciated. I know that a lot of teachers and us, right, we have going through a learning curve, trying to establish this online learning using the different platforms. So I really appreciate all the effort that you are putting there. To our students reps, I want to tell them that we miss them. I miss them. Right? They do a wonderful job every meeting, and to all of our students, that even though our schools are closed, we are facing these challenging times. We are facing these unprecedented times that we have never seen in our lives. We are thinking about you, and we're still doing everything that we can in order to support you. I want to encourage all of our students in our district to continue to do their best, to do your assignments, to take advantage of the excellent learning opportunities that your teachers are providing to you, so you are ready for the next semester. These are, one more time, unprecedented times, but I'm confident. I can tell you this will pass, and we are going to come out of this situation stronger. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Um, I echo everything that our other board members have said. I'd like to thank you, students at CMI. You've always shown us strong discipline and the ability to meet challenges. So we are learning as we go through this epidemic that we are able to do the same throughout the district. And the better we get at it, the quicker we will be out of our circumstances. We do definitely miss you, and we plan for your return as soon as possible. Okay, thank you. We're going to go to item 11.1, which is adjournment. Do I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Okay, that's
you, Dr.
Trustee
Freeman.
Nellison and Dr. Freeman. Okay, we're going to wait for the vote and then do our oral vote. Okay, here's the vote. You can vote. We need one more. Dr. Rao?
Stanford, but it's okay. Finally, yeah,
Did you
I
get it?
was
Okay.
done. Yeah, thank
Okay,
you.
we'll do the oral vote now. Trustee Garcia. Trustee Nellison.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Dr. Rao.
Aye.
And myself, President Stafford. We are now adjourned at 5:30 p.m. The California Military Institute board meeting. Thank you. Now we're going to do a couple of technical things and move over to the regular board meeting. Okay. Need to refresh here. Okay, we're going to 8.1. We open the regular board meeting. We all let's try to rejoin. Okay, let's find our. We reopen the regular board meeting of the Perris Union High School District at 5:32 p.m. Item 8.1 is revision, adoption, ordering of agenda. It's an action item. Do I have a motion?
Mine shows 1.1.
Yeah,
Um,
can somebody please
Okay,
take
there
up
we
the
go.
8.1? There we go. Thank you.
Okay, there we go.
Should be on 8.1.
Yeah, we are now.
Okay.
As I said.
So moved.
So move Dr. Rao.
Second.
Second, Dr. Freeman.
We really got that one doctored.
Doctor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't encourage me.
Okay. We're going to go ahead and vote now and then have an oral vote, which we'll have to do throughout the whole process, which is a little different for us. Okay, so the oral vote, we have Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Ellison,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Dr. Arau,
Aye.
and President Stafford, which is myself. 8.1 passes 5-0. So our next item, 9.1. Mine isn't moving. Why is it not moving?
Mine has gone to 9.1.
So it's mine.
Mine too.
Okay, I'll kind of manually do it here.
Item 9.1, report out of closed session.
Okay, I have it now. So 9.1, report out of closed session.
Yes, we have two items to report out of closed session this evening. In closed session by a vote of 5-0, the Board of Trustees approved the appointment of Mark Harrell as the principal of Heritage High School effective July 1st, 2020.
Very good.
Also in closed session this evening by a vote of 5-0, 5-0, the governing board adopted a notice of intent to immediately suspend and to dismiss against certificated employee number 052493 and authorize the superintendent or designee to give all the required notice to the employee. That concludes the closed session report.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Bennett. Am I, can you hear me? Okay. Item 9.2, district update by the superintendent.
Just a couple of things, actually a few things I want to talk about, but the first one is I want to introduce to the public Erica Tejeda as the new principal for Liberty High School starting in July 2020. Is Ms. Tejeda available online?
Yes, ma'am.
There she is.
We need emojis.
It's your turn, Ms. Tejeda.
Okay.
Well, this is really interesting. I've kicked my family out so that I can have some quiet. But I would really like to thank the school board and all of the cabinet members for your trust. And it's such an honor, and I am humbled to serve as the principal of Liberty High School. It's such an amazing endeavor and such an exciting time for me. And so I've worked for the district for 18 years, and I continue to serve with pride and with a lot of respect for all of the work that you do and to continue serving our community. So I would like to thank all of you for this opportunity. I'm very excited, I'm humbled, and I'm very grateful. So thank you to each of you.
Thank you, Mr. Eden.
A lot of work to do between now and August of 2021.
Yes, but we will get it done.
Yes, I
Thank
have
you.
full confidence in you to do that.
Thank you so much.
And, you know, this school year has been probably the strangest year that we would ever have in education. None of us have experienced a pandemic like this, dealing with trying to keep people healthy and safe and getting kids educated along the way. But I think some of the people in our district have done yeoman work to make sure that we're doing the best we can for our community and families. I really want to thank the Nutrition Services Department, Mr. Lynn Salato, that's been leading the way with Ms. Mitchell out on maternity leave. Them serving all the lunches. We've served over 100,000 lunches since we canceled school, and lunches and breakfast and lunch for these kids in our community. So I just want to really make sure that we're thanking them for all their hard work. I have a bunch of thank yous here because of what's been going on. I want to thank our Ed Services Department, putting together the plan for our distance learning to be able to reach out to our kids and make sure that they're continuing the education in the best way we can with where we're at right now. Is it perfect? Nothing's ever going to be perfect, but they've made such great strides to get us in a great situation to do wonderful things. You know, we have upstairs, we have our business services people, our essential workers up there. We want to make sure our employees are paid, so they're here. Our payroll department, we want to make sure we pay our bills and collect the money that we're supposed to be collected. And they're doing such wonderful things also. You know, our technology department, what they've done, making sure every kid has a Chromebook that's working. They've been out doing drive-by pickup and repairing Chromebooks and making sure our teachers have what they need to be able to give their kids those units online has been great. You know, we started something new this year. We had to hire employees still. We have teachers we have to hire for next year. We had to hire Mr. Harrell, principal, and Mr. Ada, principal. You know, our HR department has had to go a different way of making that happen, using Zoom meetings for interviews and things like that. It's just been great to see. Our M&O guys and gals are still out there doing what they need to do to make sure schools are clean and safe and things are kept up during this time of shutdown, but they're still doing such wonderful things. Risk management, small but mighty department, has done great to keep our employees safe and make sure that we're getting the things they need to be successful. And I can't stop without thanking both of our bargaining unit member teams, PSEA and CSEA. One of the few districts that were able to get the MOUs completed in such a expeditious fashion because we've built those relationships with them over the years to make sure that we trust each other and we can sit down and talk. So I really thank them. And last but not least, I want to thank our teachers for preparing the distance learning lessons that they're doing for our kids for our kids and get the best education possible under the situation we're dealing with. And I think they've just been awesome, and it's great to see, and it's going to keep getting better as we continue to move forward. The last thing I did want to share is I was over at Heritage today. You know, we've had to cancel graduations, we've had to cancel proms, we've had to cancel senior awards nights and grad activities. So I really liked what Heritage had put together. I want to share. They're going to go around to each senior that's supposed to be graduating and put a lawn sign in for them that says senior class of 2020. And it's just awesome to see that happening and how we're supporting our kids and families. So I'm just proud to be the superintendent here in the Perris High School District with what we've been able to do and having the full support of our school board to do that. So I just want to say thank you to all, and let's make sure we finish out the year strong, doing the great things for kids. And that concludes my report this evening, Mr. Stafford.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent Bennett. We appreciate you very much, and thank you for the report. And you're doing a great thing for us. We're going to move on to in our oral reports. We're going to go to 9.3, which mine has not moved yet. So I'm going to move it. I've moved to 9.3. You ready? Okay. Okay. 9.3 PSEA President Jason Miller, who is not here at this time.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you are, Jason? Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
am. I just jumped
Okay.
in.
Okay, let's get you in here. Because I can't read the agenda and see at the same time. There, I see you. Okay, good. Hi, how are you doing, Jason?
Good. How are you?
Good, good, good to see you. So let's hear from you.
Okay. In any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. Teddy Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States. I hear some people say this whole pandemic is overhyped, some conspiracy, not real or not serious. Ben Lutterer, a 30-year-old New Jersey teacher, died suddenly from COVID-19 with no underlying health problems. It was pretty serious to him. 20,000 plus people in the United States have passed away already this year from COVID-19. It was pretty serious to them. My own sister is a nurse and has spent the last month or so in downtown Los Angeles hospitals working with COVID patients and has now gone to hot zone hospitals in New York just this last Monday to work with COVID patients there. It is pretty serious to her. And now COVID-19 has come to Perris, Menifee, Romoland, Nuevo. Parents are finding out right now that educators are essential workers. Because of this pandemic, we are facing hard decisions as families, as a school district, as a region, as a state, as a country, and as a world. The school board made a comment 2 meetings ago concerning liberty boundaries that they have to get it right and make the right decision. For that decision, the school board got it right. But now we are all in a different place making more important decisions, and we have to continue to get it right. It got me reflecting on how we as leaders make decisions. In this current crisis that has moved faster than anyone would have thought, making decisions and making the right decisions is more crucial than ever. Making decisions is one of the hardest parts about being a leader. When leaders make decisions, they are often not affected by those decisions personally, but those people they lead often take the brunt of bad decisions or thrive with effective decisions. 2 key components of decision making for leaders are that they need to consider the ramification of the decision on those they lead, and they should try to avoid making rash, quick, shoot from the hip decisions. I wanted to thank the leaders of PSEA and the PUHSD cabinet for working hard in the last few weeks to make sense of what we'll be learning for the rest of this year. Those decisions did not come on a whim nor without intentional thinking or planning, and it had exhaustive input from many people. You will see the outcome of those efforts in the PSEA PUHSD memorandum of understanding that is in the agenda. We've worked together diligently to come to common solutions to best serve students in this time of stranger things. I think it will remain strange for a while, and we all need to make sure that we are thinking out our decisions and continue to act in the best interests of those we lead for a while. Thank you for this time to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Miller, PSEA President. Thank you very much. We're going to move to our next item. It's going to be 9.4 CSEA President Josh Rushing. Is Josh available for this?
I am here.
Okay. Let me get you on my screen, Josh. Well, you have something there. I don't know what that
That's
is.
a picture of my daughter.
Oh, it's okay. Beautiful daughter and Mickey Mouse. Well, welcome, Josh, and we'd like to hear your report.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for setting this up and making it where I can still address the board. I know last month's meeting was more thought was the most interesting meeting we're going to have, and now we get to do this. Much like Superintendent Bennett said, I have a lot of thanks to give out. First and foremost, honestly, is to all my members. I think right now we've proven that classified employees are essential to the district, because without most of our employees being at work, no one's getting paid, no one's being fed, our schools aren't being upkept, so it's very important to acknowledge that they're doing the best they can for our communities, our schools, and everything. So I don't think we can thank them enough. I also like to thank the district specifically. I'd like to thank HR and risk management. They have been more than willing to answer calls, weekends, middle of the night, just whenever stuff comes up, to be able to address stuff as it comes up. I know Judy and I worked together to go. I think Candace earlier called it a little road show. We went to the different districts to see how everyone was doing their food distribution safely for all of their members, and we're able to get some ideas and able to help out our people to keep them safer, keep them, further away from possibly sick people in the car. So that was really cool. Also came out with the idea of being able to buy grocery bags. Who would have thought grocery bags could have saved us so much space from handing them these little cardboard trays. I'll again also like to thank Ed Services. They've been kind of reacting to all the new changes and coming up with a plan for all the teachers. And during that plan, like, oh wait, we have Perris. They need to be a part of this plan. So they got us involved pretty early. There's been, nothing's perfect. There are speed bumps and everything, but so far we're working on a good deal where everyone's treated fairly, and it's just kind of a learn as we go thing. Last month, we had our meeting the day after we came to our agreement on the MOU. We found out in the last couple of weeks that, hey, we're not coming back as of April 30th. So that triggered our language to go back to the table and extend our agreement. So hopefully we'll have that in place for the next board meeting. Luckily with CSEA, working with the state, with the governor, everything, all this stuff, we're able to expedite our processes so we can have our agreements as it comes to these items are able to be ratified quicker with the executive board. So hopefully, like I said, that'll be in place for the next meeting. And with that, like I said, thank you guys for everything. Hope everyone's safe and healthy, and I will see you next month.
Okay, thank you, Jason. PSEA President Jason Miller. We appreciate you very much. We're going to move on with our oral reports to item 9.4, which is, well, that was you. We have 9.5, comments by the Board of Trustees. So we'll start with Trustee Garcia. I don't think your mic is on. No. Okay, we'll go to Trustee Nelson.
If you could hear me, just say something, Mr. Stafford.
Okay,
You're
okay,
good now.
You're good.
Go ahead, Edward. Go ahead.
Are you sure?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. I would like to thank everyone for all of their hard work, their dedication, their loyalty to Paris Union and the communities. Without everyone coming together and working together as a whole, we can't do what we've been doing. We've been reaching out to the community, we've been feeding them, we've been informing them, we've been helping any way possible. And I want to point out too, before I continue on, if people are in need, reach out to your community, call City Hall, find out, people, there's food drives all over the place throughout the city. There's testing places for this COVID-19. Just whatever we have to do to help each other out because we're in it together. Again, I want to say thank you, Mr. Bennett, for all your hard work and all the great things you've been doing for us and making those hard decisions. And I want to thank the board members. I want to thank cabinet. Same thing. When we come together here to do this work and make these decisions, this affects everyone. So, I know I don't have to tell you, but I want to remind you when we make a decision, it affects everyone. I want to thank everyone, teachers, classified, it doesn't matter who you are, everyone. And I love you all, and I pray that everyone is healthy and strong and we all make it out together. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Garcia. Trustee Nelson.
Yes, thank you very much, President Stafford. I'm going to be echoing a lot of sentiments from a lot of people, I'm sure, and they'll be echoing myself. But I wanted to thank everybody involved with the entire district, administration, Mr. Bennett's cabinet, administration at sites, certificated and classified staff. Our district has handled this very well, I think, and the fact that we've gotten 100,000 meals out in the time that we have is astounding. And the fact that the community needs the food and we're there supplying the food, it's great. I also want to thank the technology department and Scholar Plus, everything they're doing, because I was in a meeting yesterday with for the delegate assembly for CSBA, and we were talking about. I was talking to other board members from other districts in Riverside County alone, and we were way ahead of the curve on this in terms of technology. The fact that we could deliver the education electronically and from distance learning, a lot of districts have absolutely no way of coping with that because they're not one-to-one districts. They don't have the discretionary funds for technology. And so I want to thank the entire technology department for being on top of that, and the teachers for being so flexible in terms of getting all those assignments out and the distance learning that's going on. And one more thing, I'd like to thank previous boards. Even before I was on the board, they voted to devote the money and the resources to technology and getting the Chromebooks on a one-to-one basis to all the students years ago, even before I was on the board. This is a vote before I was even there, and I would like to thank them for having the foresight to move forward on that, because that was a big um, decision that has pay dividends right now. We are in a much better position right now because of those previous boards, and I would like to thank them if they ever see this. I would like to mirror Mr. Miller and Mr. Rushing's comments, and that everybody's been outstanding in terms of being flexible and being able to roll with the punches on this. This is something we've never ever had to deal with before, and we are kind of making this up as we go, but we're trying to make the best decisions we possibly can. And I want everybody to stay safe and just make sure you're doing your social distancing, because it definitely is working. We've already seen numbers across the country that show that social distancing is working. So everybody stay safe, and I really appreciate everything everybody's doing, and that'll be it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Nelson. We have up next Dr. Freeman.
Thank you, President Stafford. Times of crisis, you get to see what kind of leadership we actually have. From every area, we have shown that we have excellent leadership. I would like to personally thank both Presidents Miller and Rushing for the leadership that they've shown during this pandemic time, that there's not a time to start arguing about normal things, it's negotiating, but this actually get down and get to it, get things going, and they're doing a great job. I would like to thank all of those people that are helping us to stay solvent the way we are. And on a personal note, President Stafford, I think you would make a great radio DJ.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Freeman. Okay, we're just warming up. We have a few of these. Thank you very much. Any other comments, or we're good?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Freeman. Dr. Rouse, we'd like to hear from you.
Thank you, President Stafford. I want to join all the comments that had been done before by our Board of Trustees. Thank you to Mr. Bennett for his leadership. Thank you, sir, for your leadership, bringing all the different stakeholders of our district together and for fostering that collaboration. Thank you to both associations also, and thank you to all our certificated and classified staff members. As Mr. Nelson said, more than 100,000 meals is something awesome, right? Thank you for supporting our community, for providing that extra help to our most vulnerable elements of our society. So thank you, everybody, for the outstanding job that everybody has been doing. I want to talk to our students also. Our students reps, we miss you. during the board meetings. And to all the students in our district, I just want to tell you that yes, we are going through these unprecedented, challenging times, but together as a society, we are going to uh, overcome these challenges and we are going to come out stronger. I invite all of our students to please participate on the learning opportunities that your teachers are working so hard to provide, to do the assignments that they are providing to you so we can finish the school year strong, that you are ready for the beginning of the next semester in the fall, and the seniors to be ready to start your college education once these situations pass. This challenge, the coronavirus, will pass. We are confident of that. Working together as a society, we are going to overcome this challenge. Please be safe. Continue to practice social distances. Let's continue to wash our hands for more than 20 seconds. And together, we are going to be victorious. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Um, I'd like to just say a couple of thank yous myself. I know it. We all see different things. Number one, to the students. I know this is tough. That staying home, you're used to being with your friends and your activities, and we really miss you because the district is all about the students. It's not about us. It's about your future because you are our future. I'd like to thank the workers that are still working every day, the nutrition service people that are serving the lunches. I heard a number from Superintendent, Deputy Superintendent Rains that we're up to 137,000 meals that we have served to our students and families out there. We care about you. We want you to be safe. We'll all learn to follow the rules. If you're not, we want to just, hey, you heard it from us too. Let's follow those rules because we care a lot about you and we know you love your families and we want to see everyone be successful. And don't be afraid to ask for help. I always kid people when you're taking a test or an interview, if you don't ask for help, you failed because if in my previous professions that was the first thing you did. You asked for help, you identified where you needed help, and you made sure that was on the way as you proceeded to do your job. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Pick up the phone, let somebody know. Anytime you're in any distress, there's always someone there for you, so please be aware of that. Okay, with that, thank you very much, and we're going to move on. Of course, I've lost my place now. Okay, we're going to move to the invitation to 10.1, invitation to address the Board of Trustees. This process is different for us also. So, Mr. Bennett, do we?
We have one item that was emailed in, so I'll read it into the record.
Oh, okay, thank you.
This is from Mr. Paul Clay, a teacher at Heritage High School. His statement was, I have put the board and district officers on notice about the attempt by a publisher to bribe teachers to select their text, which could amount to millions of dollars in expenditure of public funds. I forwarded to you the email solicitation so you have the evidence in hand. We know they offered a bribe to the teachers. Is it equally probable that they offered a bribe to the administrators who will ultimately make the actual decision? They must not be considered for selection. That's the statement from Mr. Clay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bennett. We're going to move to action item or items, the consent calendar, and that's going to be 11.1, which I haven't moved yet. Here.
So moved.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get on the.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking for a motion.
No, well, I'll take that motion, David.
Okay.
So we have Trustee Nelson with the
Second.
motion, and we have Trustee Garcia with the second. So we'll vote, and we'll also take the oral vote. Okay, the vote is 5-0 on item 11.1. And Oh, sorry, out of order. We have to do the oral vote just to confirm. Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
and Dr. Arau.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
And don't
11
forget yourself,
Oh.
President Stafford.
I do that, don't I? Let's go. I'll say aye also, and 11.1 passes 5-0. Thank you, guys. That's your consent calendar. Now we're going to move to oral reports. Are we going in the right order? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Item 12.1. And for some reason, mine isn't moving, so I'll do it myself. Okay.
So moved for 12.1.
12.1 is our LCAP goal 2, and Dr. Newman will be leading us through this with Ms. Zerold.
I believe we still need a motion, which I am presenting.
Well, it's an information item.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was an action item.
Okay. 12.1 is information item. Local control accountability plan goal number 2, as Mr. Bennett said.
Right.
So if we can move to that.
Sounds good. Well, first off, I want to say good evening, President Stafford and the board. We're excited to come to you today, specifically to provide our annual update for our LCAP. We spoke to you previously about our process this year and providing multiple updates so that in June we will not have the extended version, but we'll have an updated version in terms of what we're doing next year. So that's what we want to do today. We have Julie Zerold, our Director of Curriculum Instruction. She's been in the trenches leading this work for the past, I believe, 4 to 5 years in regards to Goal 2, which is ensuring that all of our students will graduate from high school prepared for post-secondary and career options. So at this time, I'm going to hand it over to her for the presentation.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, President Stafford and board members and Superintendent Bennett and Cabinet. Would like to talk to you a little bit about what our annual update looks like in regards to Goal 2. So if I could have you move to the next slide, please. When we look at LCAP Goal 2, our local indicators are the A to G completion, AP pass rate, EAP scores, FAFSA completion, and our AVID participation. And so throughout the year, we've done a couple of presentations that have covered a lot of this information already. So this is just the process to show you what we've done to address those different areas for our local indicators. Let's go ahead and move to the next slide. When we look at the different areas that we focused on when we looked at our LCAP, these are the 5 areas that we kind of covered. 2.1 is provide expanded opportunities for remediation, acceleration, and enrichment to college and career readiness. 2.2, oh, sorry, my screen just went black. Provide opportunities and support for high school students to take college level coursework. Provide expanded opportunities for students to participate and complete CTE pathways. Provide funding, training, and support to build, maintain a comprehensive counseling program to support college and career readiness. And provide training and support for to develop the college and career readiness necessary for success in high school and post-secondary education. So now we'll look at it by each of those categories. Let me move to the next slide. So the things that we have done to address 2.1 is the shift to having the 7-period day. So this has been in place for the last 5 years, which has allowed us to provide additional opportunities for students to take elective courses, meet A to G completion, and also have that opportunity to do remediation during the school day versus outside of the school day. It's also helped us with the expansion of our CTE pathways. Last month, Diane Martin provided the presentation on our CTE pathways, but I also included some information down below in regards to those pathways. So we had 18 industry sectors across the district and 34 different pathways that students are able to participate in the CTE pathway programs. Summer school remediation and acceleration opportunities. Last summer, we had 911 students that were able to earn credit with a 92.2% pass rate. And then credit recovery opportunities. This allows us to provide those credit recovery opportunities in seats as well as outside the school day using our online platform, which is Edmentum. Next slide, please. 2.2 addresses the following items: increase in dual enrollment options. So you'll see below the dual enrollment options that we provide at each of the schools. The ones highlighted in blue are our current offerings, and then you'll see the ones in yellow. Those are going to be the additional offerings for next school year, which we're excited to see that we're adding additional courses for all of our students to participate in. I think one of the things that I'm most excited about for next year is Perris Lake will also have 2 dual enrollment classes offered, which helps us address those the college and career indicator for our students at Perris Lake, which can be really challenging for our students to reach when they're in the alt-ed program. The increased enrollment in our AP courses, as well as helping them prepare for their AP exams. So this year we have 2,381 students that are, or 2,381 AP tests that students have signed up to take. That is definitely an interesting thing to think about as we kind of look at it from the standpoint of how we're handling AP testing now with this pandemic. The College Board has been amazing with jumping on and coming up with solutions really quickly for our students. And so we've been working hard as far as reaching out to our students to ensure that they have the necessary information to be able to take those AP exams from home. The College Board has made arrangements to provide testing at home virtually. So all of our students still have that opportunity to earn college credit. What I didn't mention was that we have currently 37 dual enrollment courses approved district-wide. That doesn't mean that all 37 dual enrollment classes are offered every year. That is based upon the student requests and the availability of sections for those courses. But we've been able to add additional courses this year and have additional teachers approved this year. So that's exciting for us to see. Next slide, please. 2.3 addresses the implementation of new pathways and expansions of our current pathways in regards to CTE. So we've added some additional pathways in the last couple of years, the automotive program over at Perris High, as well as the video productions program over at Paloma. We've also had the addition of our coordinator of ed services that's helped with CTE pathways and the articulation agreements. He's also been a really great support for us with the instructional programs and our online platforms for our curriculum. And then we've also been able to provide professional development for our teachers that support our CTE pathways. Next slide, please. 2.4 addresses really the counseling realm. This helps us to support counselors doing the transcript analysis for our 11th to 12th grade students each year. That's something that we've been doing for the last several years, working with RCOE and through the RCEC collaborative with Catalina Cifuentes and her division. Also professional development for the counselors. So that includes the ongoing RCEC meetings every month, also the counselor network, as well as the College Board opportunities for our teachers. And then also the addition of our college and career readiness counselors that we have at the 3 comprehensive high schools. They do a lot of work in regards to A to G completion, college applications, FAFSA. When we look at our FAFSA completion, it's been great to see not only with the support of the board to make it a graduation requirement, but we've seen some really great movement. I was able to provide the cabinet and the sites an update today. And as a district, we're at 80% of the applications that have been submitted this school year. So that's pretty amazing considering the situation that we're dealing with right now and the way school abruptly ended for most of our students. And they're still reaching out and working with our seniors right now. We created an opportunity for students to be able to reach out and ask for support using a Google form. And our college and career counselors have been working with those students on a daily basis, providing webinars as well as Google Hangouts to help students with their web grants and college acceptances and helping them with the next step processes. So that's been really beneficial for them to have that opportunity. Next slide, please. And then the last one is 2.5, and this is where we look at PSAT exams for all 8th and 10th grade students. Those are the tests that we were giving during our kickoff to college event for all 8th and 10th graders, and then also for the 11th graders. And these are all of the 11th grade students that are on track for A to G completion, as well as the implementation of CCGI, which is a college and career readiness assessment program that allows us to do interest inventories, college searches. It also allows us to launch the FAFSA application, as well as the CSU and community college applications through CCGI, which allows us to collect a lot of data that helps us support the process with getting our students from high school to their post-secondary plans. The recruitment and retention of our students participating at AVID. It helps us with the recruitment and the process with our feeder schools and other districts, as well as our current kids in our district. It also helps us provide the support that we need to put on the kickoff to college for our students, also college visits and opportunities to provide mock interviews for all of our students. Next slide. Actually, I think that's the last slide. So if there's any questions that I can answer for you.
Do you have any questions from Trustee Garcia?
No, I don't.
Trustee Allen?
No, not currently.
Dr. Freeman?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. And Dr. Rao?
No questions at this time, President Stafford.
Thank you, Mr. Earl.
Okay. And one from myself, Julie. On the CTE program for adult ed, could you just name the type of jobs that you're doing training for? Just, there are a lot of people out of work. Unemployment is going to be a huge issue. Some people are going to be changing careers. What type of programs do we have? Are we offering currently? And I know we have some ideas in the future also.
Yeah, so currently we're offering some programs within the alt ed as well as adult ed that the construction industry, which is a newer program for us, also has been one of the programs that they've focused on over at Perris Lake. And I think that that's been really great because that is one of the industries right now that we're seeing that's been able to continue while we've had the pandemic. A lot of things that they focus around over with the pathways also is the opportunities for them to practice job interview skills and those types of things as well.
Okay. Well, I have been fielding a lot of questions from our constituents about those opportunities to retrain for different careers, and just wanted to give them an idea. I know we have a nursing program and some other things.
Velma also does I think it's phlebotomy type preparation courses also for adult ed.
Okay, I'll have them contact.
Yeah, Pauline is the person that she handles adult ed, that she would be able to help them with any of the programs for adult ed.
Okay, but all that's currently, except for the construction's not running right now, right?
No, I know that the adult ed just started back up. Dr. Newman might be able to answer this a little bit better, but I know that they just started back up when we started the distance learning, I believe, as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct. Dr. Garcia took the initiative to make sure she was able to continue to provide services once we kicked off distance learning for all of our other students.
Oh, very good. That gives them opportunity to get something done during this time and prepare for the future. So
yeah.
That's good to hear. Okay. We're going to have another report, 12.2, which is local control accountability plan goal number 3 update.
Correct. Yeah, we have Robert Bruff, our director of pupil services, joining us. He's going to cover LCAP Goal 3. That's the one for all departments and sites will provide a safe and positive school climate. I know this one is near and dear to the heart and soul of our school board. And so at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Robert Bruff.
Good evening, President Stafford, members of the board. Can you hear me okay, Dr. Newman? Okay, good. And good evening, Superintendent Bennett and members of the cabinet. Thank you for this opportunity. Especially at this time, we can think of nothing more important than the safety of our students and our families It's such an unusual time, but it's a nice time to reflect on some accomplishments this year and the plan for the future to make sure students are safe. So I'm going to take you through a few of the highlights for LCAP goal number 3. If we could go to the next slide, please. Again, all departments and sites will provide a safe and positive environment for our staff and our students. We have 3 major talking points or points of attack for this. The first, 3.1, to provide training support to ensure all Tier 1 practices of MTSS, and that's multi-tiered systems of support, are fully implemented at all the school sites throughout the district. 3.2 is to develop a systematic process to identify and support at-risk students, both academically and behaviorally, with Tier 2 and Tier 3 supports at regular intervals throughout the school year. And 3.3 is to provide training and develop a comprehensive tiered approach to improving student attendance and reducing chronic absenteeism. 3.4 is to provide services and activities to enhance and strengthen student staff safety on all campuses throughout the district. Next slide, please. We have made great progress when we look at one of the things we measure when we measure safety is the suspension rate. And we're very proud of the work we had last year. And if we look at a 3-year longitudinal data, you'll see that we've gone down from 8.2 as a district to 7.8 to 6.0 last year. And at certain schools, we've made tremendous gains, particularly at Pentecostal Middle School and Perris High School, where we've embraced alternative to suspension models. If you could go to the next slide. This is kind of a feel-good slide it's nice to see the faces of our students. I wanted to put this in there for you. These are snapshots of students that have been through the alternative program and have had that counseling and that support system. And it's been a really phenomenal program where they give kids solutions to return back to the regular program. And it's just been a phenomenal program. And I want to really compliment the work of Perris High School. If we could go to the next slide. When we turn to expulsions, we see a similar decline. 3 years ago, we had 44 for the year, then 34. Last year, only 16. This year to date, we were slightly up. I can talk about why that is in a moment. We may have been over enthusiastic with the interventions last year. We really embraced the concept of alternative to suspension and expulsion. But we also have to have standards and rigorous expectations for kids. And we think we've found that balance point. If you look compared to 2016, we're at exactly 50% of where we were 3 years ago. If you could go to the next slide. This really highlights in a more finite detail this year's expulsions and some of the safety concerns for the school. There's quite a bit of information here, but you'll see that we've had 135 actual recommendations for expulsion this year. And then it breaks down below that in yellow, how many resulted in an actual expulsion, how many stipulated, meaning they accepted their expulsion, they did not go to hearing, how many were given alternatives to expulsion, and we came up with multi-tiered system support to support them and return them to the school setting, how many contracts in lieu, and how many SPED students, because we're always monitoring that. I will not read all of the individual breakdown of the different kinds of infractions that we see at schools, but you will see that was and is an uptick in 48900A1, which is the fighting category, and also 48900C, which is our drug usage category. We have been working very extensively with our schools this year. When we saw that as an upward trend, we met with principals, we met with APs, we met with counselors to come up with social skills, to come up with responses to rising drug use. And we're seeing vaping as an epidemic across our campuses. We've talked with you about this before. So that's really where we see the uptick in discipline and safety concerns in this particular school year. You also see on the right-hand side there a breakdown of how many expulsions were recommended by school with the colored ribbons to the right. If we could go to the next slide. So how have we responded to that? Well, again, that 3.1 is to really come up with a sophisticated MTSS response. And each school this year has come up with a tiered response where they have documented and outlined and looked at how do they respond to tier 1 kids who need all interventions across the school for all kids, tier 2 kids who need additional support, and then tier 3 kids who need those really, really extensive supports to be successful and navigate school in a safe way. This is one example. I want to commend Heritage High School, and you just promoted Mr. Harrell. He, in particular, was in charge of their MTSS committee, and they've worked very extensively and very thoroughly. So we've given you an example of their MTSS system that they've developed. And again, this is a living document that's constantly being evaluated, what's working, what's not, it's added to, it's constantly changing. But this is a snapshot of Heritage at this time. If we could go to the next slide. One of the things that we did this year is we doubled the amount of resources that we put towards substance abuse counseling. And we have actually been monitoring who's attending the drug counseling and how well is that working. Again, here's a snapshot from Heritage, and they had 25 students who completed drug counseling. They, at the time of our closures, had over 25 students enrolled. And you can see that last very small stat, the recidivism, we're seeing that the drug counseling is working, that those kids who are referred to that are tending not to have subsequent drug violations. So we're confident and that this is working, and we're proud of the fact that we've really doubled down in the area where we had the most need, and that's in the area of drug counseling. If we could go to the next slide. We've also, again, given the uptick in fights, we've really focused on anger management, and we're tracking at each school how many kids are getting anger management counseling, how often are they, how well are they responding to that anger management counseling, and how often do they reoffend. And we're seeing that when we do catch them early, give them alternative methods to control their anger, we do see a reduction in the subsequent offenses. So we know that that's working, and we feel like we need to continue to double down on that work. If we could go to the next slide. But this is happening at all of our schools. This is just some pictures of the mentoring program that Pentecostal Middle School is doing. This is work by Oliver Petty, who is an inspirational speaker, and he's identified a group of at-risk students, and he's coming on a monthly basis and working with them. Pentecostal, I could spend an entire hour giving you an update on the various interventions that they've done and how systematic their work is, led by Principal Shaquan Jones. They've been truly leaders in this work this year, and I want to make sure we highlight that. You see some happy, smiling kids there. That lower picture is Mr. Tinajero, and you've given us a social emotional counselor there, and he's been doing great work with those students as well as part of the multi-tiered systems of support. If we could go to the next slide. Very proud of this. Part of safety is keeping kids emotionally safe, physically safe. We found that last year, many students were being referred for mental health care, for physical care. But when we got reports back from our families, they would say, well, I can't get an appointment for 2 months, or I can't get in, or I can't seem to navigate the healthcare system. Care Solace is a company that we've been working with, and they have helped over 1,500 of our families this year. And we're getting reports back that Care Solace is getting our families appointments within a day or two. We're hearing from our families and our counselors and everyone that this has really assisted our families in getting support and care that they need, which helps them be safe in so many ways. I'm very proud that we partnered with them. We've seen a huge uptick in the use of this system since the COVID-19 sequester, and families obviously are home and they're struggling and they're stressed, and this is a mental health and a physical health resource that they're definitely utilizing. And we were very intentional about putting it on the website that went out recently, that Ed Services led by Dr. Newman, and particularly Diane Martin and her team, and Mark Sennett worked so hard. There's so many people that worked hard to get us a good website, but we've definitely made this an easy source for them to reach out for care and resources. Next slide, please. In addition to that, we've utilized Ripple Effects this year, which is an online counseling platform that gives kids their testimonials by students who've experienced things. There are hundreds of activities and topics that range from everything as a young person might encounter. And each of the sections under this program of online counseling really ends with them asking students to really reach out for help to their counselor, to their administrator. So it not only gives them knowledge, but it also gives them efficacy and advice and a recommendation to reach out for help. And we're very proud of the fact that we've given them this extra resource this year to make them all safer. Next slide. We did some training. We realized wellness is important, wellness in terms of physical wellness and mental wellness. And Dr. Joelle Hood came and did a training with every staff member, with the exception of counselors. Counselors were in a separate training this year, but almost every employee had a good session on wellness, and we had great feedback. And that just shows that we put student well-being, physical well-being, mental health at the forefront of our training this year as we approach the professional development days. The next slide. Smile Premier, I'm very proud of this. We brought them last year and they really came in and with a vengeance this year. They came and set up mobile dental clinics. And that's a room at Perris High School that they turned into a dental office, and students were given free dental care. And that's just a great resource for them. So we're very proud of the partnering with them. Again, school safety has to do with physical health as well as emotional health. So this was a really nice thing to see. Next slide, please. Now that kind of covers a little snapshot, although we could give you hours and hours on 3.1 and 3.2, but we do need to pivot to some of the others. 3.3 is responding to attendance and chronic absenteeism. Assistant principals have been very systematic about the 5-day absent report this year. We brought on the social work interns this year, and they have been very intentional about those welcome meetings for students who are at risk and have enrolled late in the year after the first day of school. Hopefully you remember some of those talking points from last spring's presentation, where we talked about our at-risk students who are migrating in the middle of the year, and we wanted to give them an extra support. The interns have been very wonderful in that. And then we sadly were focused right when the quarantine began on this Friday, Monday issue, where we saw this pattern. And I think you may remember at the beginning of the year and last year when I gave you those absentee maps based on school, and we saw this pattern of Friday, Monday absences. And we were really beginning to pull into that work, but now of course we're all home, and that will have to be picked up next year when students actually return to school. Next slide, please. We've been very proactive about home visits this year. You'll see the number of visits to each school. Our 2 attendance specialists have made over 440 home visits this year. That's a lot of work. Particular emphasis was given to Pinacati Middle School because our chronic absentee rate on our dashboard comes from middle school. We only have one middle school, so we thought it was very important to be intentional about the focus we gave them. They focused on 90 students who were really closely monitored for absenteeism at the beginning of the year. They did home visits, they did SART meetings, they did frequent phone calls, and I'm really proud to report that out of those 90 students, 76 of them showed a marked improvement in attendance. And that means that 76 of those 90 students that we were intentionally reaching out to had less than 2 days of unexcused absences after those interventions. So I'm really, really proud of that work, and that the credit goes to the administrators, the social work interns, the attendance specialists. We saw a real movement there, and some good results. Next slide, please. I want to highlight that we've been partnering with Director Hannon in terms of school safety and campus supervisors, and 3.4, providing and strengthening staff safety. This is a list of all the trainings that have been done with campus supervisors this year. They did the PROACT training, search protocols, medical emergencies. I won't read you the whole list, but things even including human trafficking. Mr. Hannon has done extensive training with them. I went and did the ACEs training myself, where we had them, we exposed them to the adverse childhood experience score, because many of our campus supervisors do a great deal of social emotional counseling. You know, they spot kids with their head down in the quad, and some of our greatest counselors are our campus supervisors, and they help keep our students very, very safe. So I want to thank them for all their hard work. Next slide, please. Well, I guess that's the end. A lot of information. I don't know if there's any questions or concerns that I can address. It's so odd to present and not be able to really see your facial expressions and to know whether to speed up or slow down. So what can we answer for you?
Board members, do we have any questions for Mr. Bruff? Well, it's interesting the way you incorporated, the training with the campus supervisors, because they're interacting with the kids every day and they see things before they happen. And that's really good. You're working with Mr. Hannon, and that brings them closer to the kids to identify what they're doing and all those processes. So it was really good to hear that. Do we have any questions for Mr. Bruff?
I don't really. Well, I guess I have a question. I want to commend you on your rehabilitation program that you have for the drug use and the anger management. You know, a lot of people seem to lose focus, but I guess what I want to know is, what tools are you using that's making that program so successful, and how are you getting buy-in from the students?
So when a student has a first-time drug offense, they're recommended, they may be suspended a few days, but that's really just a cooling off period to get a plan together for when they return. They're greeted when they come back by a counselor, an administrator, or both, and they're signed up for drug. It's not the same at every school, but Positive Solutions is the company that we doubled the funding for this year. And we used to have classes once a week, and now she's doing classes twice a week. And it's just been a phenomenal resource. It's a group class. The kids are mandated to attend it, but of course, you can't make kids do much of anything, right? It's just a very positive program that we found, and the kids go. They feel very supported. They spend the first day talking about confidentiality and that it's an open space, and then they just talk to them. And those run over the course of, they have 10 meetings over the course of the 10 weeks. And we seem to be having a really good response. Kids say it's really changed them.
Okay, do we have any other
Thank you.
comments?
I don't have a question, Trustee Stafford. I just, it's a comment. I just want to say thank you to Dr. Newman and Mr. Broff for the outstanding job that you are doing with our students, supporting our students. This is a very strategic and important process that you are following, using the data, identifying the sources, the underlying causes of the behavior. Right, is really important through the training and the support to the students. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you, Dr. Rao. Dr. Freeman, do you have any comment?
No, I just think he's doing a great job, he and his staff, and I just keep doing it.
All
Thank
right. Trustee Nelson, any comment?
I would just like to echo Dr. Rouse's comments and the fact that you're using the data to double the drug use prevention. I know that we all know that that with the legalization of marijuana and the ease of access of vape pens and all of that stuff for the kids, this has become a crazy thing in the schools, an epidemic of its own, essentially, that we have to deal with. And the fact that these kids are doing this themselves is now we have to deal with that as a major issue. Not that it wasn't a major issue before, but now it's become even a bigger issue. So I appreciate the intense focus on that, especially because that is a major issue we're having.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Nelson. Thank you, Mr. Bruff. That was very informative and brings us up to date, and I appreciate your time and effort that you put into it. Thank
My
you very
pleasure.
much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So at this time, we're going to move on to, we have a couple items here. Written reports, which are information items. 13.1 is the Williams Settlement Quarterly Uniform Complaint Report Summary for January 2020 through March 2020. As usual, that was a very good report. Great job by M&O. 13.2 Discipline, March 2020 Monthly Suspension Reports. And also that was very light because we've been out of out of session. School's been out of session, so wasn't much there. We're going to go to the action items now, starting with 14.1 General Functions. Resolution number 33, semicolon 19-20, authorization needed to take any and all necessary action to prepare and respond effectively to the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. Resolution by Perris High School District Board of Trustees declaring emergency conditions exist at Perris High School District schools and offices. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have Trustee Nelson and Trustee Freeman.
Either one.
or we'll say Trustee Freeman. So we're going to take an oral vote. We have Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
Okay. Trustee Nelson.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Dr. Arau.
Aye.
Okay. And myself, aye. So you can, we need one more vote there. Okay.
No, that's all of them.
Oh, no. Okay. It just
Now it
popped up. Okay. 14.1 passes 5-0. We'll move to the next item, 14.2 personnel, certificated personnel action items.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
So it's Trustee Garcia, Trustee Arau. You can vote and we'll do the oral vote. As soon as we, okay, now we'll go the oral vote. Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Nelson.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Dr. Arau.
Aye.
And myself, aye. 12.1, oops, I'm looking at the wrong screen here.
14.2.
14.2, mine didn't change. Let's get back to the right one. Sorry about that. 14.2 passes 5-0. Our next item, question, my screen isn't advancing. I'm just a little, okay. Why did it just keeps doing that? I'm gonna go back and join the meeting. Okay, so we'll go to 14.3, classified personnel action items. This is action item. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Sounded like Trustee Freeman and Trustee Nelson.
I think Dr. Rao had it before I did.
What did it? Okay, Dr. Rao and Trustee Nelson.
No, Dr. Freeman, then Dr. Rao should have been the second.
Okay,
If he moved before I did.
Dr. Freeman and had made the motion. Dr. Rao second. And we'll you can go ahead and vote, and then we'll do an oral vote. Okay, one more waiting to come in. Okay, we'll start with Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Nelson.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Dr. Rao.
Aye.
And myself, aye. 14.3 passes 5-0. Okay, 14.4 is a personnel resolution number 2819-20, proclamation of Week of the Teacher and Day of the Teacher. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Trustee Garcia.
Second.
Trustee Nelson.
Nelson, correct.
Nelson, okay. So we'll wait for it to come up. You can vote, and we'll have to do an oral on all of these, so we have a few to do. Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
Trustee Nelson.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Dr. Rao.
Aye.
And myself, aye. 14.4 personnel action item passes 5-0. Okay, let's see if we're moving. Okay, 14.5 is a personnel item, action item, resolution number 2919-20, proclamation of May 6, 2020 as National School Nurse Day. Do I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Okay, that was Trustee Freeman on the motion and Trustee Rao on the second. And we'll wait for the vote. Okay. And then we'll do the oral vote. Dr. Rao.
Aye.
I changed direction. Dr. Freeman. Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Trustee Nelson.
Aye.
Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
And myself, aye. 14.5 passes 5-0. 14.6 personnel resolution number 3019-20, proclamation of May 17th through 23rd, 2020 as Classified Employees Week.
So moved.
Do I have a motion? Trustee Garcia is the
Second.
motion. Dr. Rao is the second. You can wait for the vote. You can vote, and we'll do an oral vote. That's Dr. Rao.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Trustee Nelson.
Aye.
Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
And myself is aye. 14.6 passes 5-0. Okay, 14.7 personnel. Stand by for 1 second. Okay, 14.7 is a personnel item. I need to read this to you. The Perris Secondary Educators Association is submitting its initial proposal to negotiate with the Perris Union High School District for 2021 school year. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing and recommendation to accept the Perris Secondary Educators Association initial proposal to negotiate with the Perris Union High School District for 2021 school year?
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
So I have Dr. Freeman and Dr. Rao on the second. Okay, I'm going to continue. The public hearing on the Perris Secondary Education Association's initial proposal to negotiate with the Perris Union High School District for the 2021 school year is now open at 6:45 p.m. Okay. We may now take comments from members of the public. Are there any public comments?
No public comments this evening, Mr. Stafford.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Superintendent Bennett. So the second part of this item, we have no comments, so we'll move on. The public hearing on the Perris Secondary Educators Association initial proposal to negotiate with the Perris Union High School District for the 2021 school year is now closed at 6:46 p.m. This sounds very loud. Okay, so now we can make the motion. Oh, no.
Motion's already been made.
Okay. Stand by. Where are we at, Grant? Okay. 14.7. So do I have a motion?
We've already had the motion and second.
Okay. Okay.
Motion is a second.
Let's stand by for 1 minute. I think I got them twisted around there.
We had the motion and second before the public hearing, so we're good on that.
I'm sorry, we have a couple of these, so I'm a little mixed on this. Oh, okay. I thought we did that already. Okay. Oh. Okay. So we'll need a, can we have that motion again? I'm sorry, guys. Trustee Nelson, we had the motion. Who had the motion and who had the second?
I'm sorry, I thought you had written that down.
Yeah, okay. I want to make sure I'm correct on it. So who had the motion?
I think I had second.
Okay, you have the second. Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I believe Dr. Freeman had the motion and Dr. Rouse had the second.
Yes, it was one of those doctored up programs.
One of those doctors. I'm getting confused with the doctors. Okay, so we'll have an oral vote on we'll have an oral vote. Dr. Rao,
Aye.
Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
and myself. Aye. Okay. So the vote was 5-0 for item 14.8 personnel. 14.7. Okay. So we're going to move to the next item. Okay. Okay. Item 14.8, personnel. The Perris Union High School District hereby submits its initial proposal to the Perris Secondary Educators Association for successor contract negotiations. Do I have a motion to open the public hearing and recommendation to accept the district's proposal to negotiate with the Perris Secondary Educators Association for the 2021 school year?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, we'll get this.
Second.
I have Trustee Garcia and Dr. Rao. Okay, the public hearing on the district's initial proposal to negotiate with the Perris Secondary Educators Association for the 2021 school year is now open at 6:50 p.m. Are there any public comments?
We had no public comments for that item.
Okay. So no public comments. So the public hearing for the district's initial proposal to negotiate with the Perris Secondary Educators Association for 2021 school year is now closed at 6:51 p.m. Okay, there was a motion. That we did the motions already. Okay. Okay. There is a motion by
Trustee Garcia, and I second.
Trustee Garcia and Rao. Okay, oral vote is Dr. Rao.
Aye.
Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nellison,
Aye.
and myself, aye. You can vote. We're just waiting for it to come up. Did everyone vote?
We have. It just says you have not voted yet, Mr. Stafford.
Oh, I did click. Okay. Thank you, Dave. 14.8 passes 5-0. So we'll move on now to our next item, 14.9 personnel. This is approval of memorandum of understanding between the Perris Union High School District and the California Schools Employees Association and its chapter Perris Valley 469 concerning the district's response to the coronavirus epidemic. This is an action item.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Garcia, Trustee Nellison. Okay. We'll wait for the vote and then take an oral vote. You can vote now. Okay, for the oral vote, Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
Dr. Rao.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Trustee Nellison.
Aye.
And myself, aye. 14.9 passes 5-0. Next item is 14.10. Personnel, approval of memorandum of understanding between the Perris Union High School District and the Perris Secondary Educators Association regarding the school closure related to the coronavirus epidemic.
So moved.
Second.
14.10. So we have Trustee Garcia and Trustee Freeman.
Right.
Okay. You can vote and then we'll take an oral. Okay, with the oral vote, Trustee Garcia.
Aye.
Dr. Rao.
Aye.
Dr. Freeman.
Aye.
Trustee Nellison.
Aye.
And myself, aye. 14.10 passes 5-0. Okay. Our next item is an action item, 14.11. This is ratification of amendment number 1 to agreement for professional consultant services with Positive Solutions to facilitate anger management, substance abuse prevention, and effective decision-making sessions funded through the local control accountability plan, supplemental, and concentration funds at a total cost not to exceed $15,000. Do I have a motion? Do we have
Second.
Dr. Freeman and Dr. Rao? And we'll wait for the vote. Let me 1411 passes 5-0. Our next item is 14
Uh,
point.
The
Oral.
Oral.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Let's go back to Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Dr. Rao,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Okay. Next item is 14.12, Building and Grounds. First Amendment to Agreement for Construction Management Services between Neff Construction Incorporated and Perris Union High School District for the Liberty High School Pool Project, funded through the various facility funds at an estimated cost of $760,000, not the general fund. Do I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Okay,
Good,
that
David.
sounded like Dr. Freeman and
Yeah,
Dr.
but
Arau.
give it to Dave. Well, whatever.
Okay,
Doesn't matter to me.
it will be up in a second. You can vote, and we'll take an oral. Trustee Garcia, here.
Aye.
Dr. Rao,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. 14.12, Building and Grounds, it passes at 5-0. Our next item, 14.13, is Building and Grounds Agreement for Construction Manager Services between the Perris Union High School District and Paul C. Miller Construction Company, Incorporated for the Heritage High School Pool, Team Room, and Campus Operations Facilities Project, funded through various facilities funds at an estimated cost of $893,748, not the general fund. Do I have a motion?
So
So,
moved.
Okay, Trustee Nelson.
Second.
And okay, who's going to
You
take
know, it's so much easier when we can see each other.
Yeah.
it? Is
Dr. Freeman second.
Dr. Freeman.
It's not as humorous.
Okay. You can vote when it comes up, and then we'll take an oral. Trustee Garcia,
aye.
Dr. Arau,
Aye. Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. 14.13 passes at 5-0. Okay, we've got another one, 14.14, Building and Grounds. Agreement for Construction Management Services between the Perris Union High School District and Paul C. Miller Construction Company, Incorporated for the Paloma Valley High School Pool Project, funded through various facilities funds at an estimated cost of $900,000, not the general fund. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
So second.
Trustee Garcia, Trustee Nelson. You can wait for the vote. Okay, we'll take an oral vote. Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Dr. Arau,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. 14.14 passes 5-0. And our next item is action item 14.15, business resolution number 3219-20. Resolution authorizing staff to enter into a purchase and sale agreement and making related findings review. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Garcia, Trustee Arau, you can wait for the vote. We'll do an oral vote. Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Trustee Arau,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Dr. Arau, Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
and Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. 14.15 passes 5-0. Okay. Next items are information items. 15.1 is curriculum, revise elective courses, digital photography 1, digital photography 2, and stagecraft 1 meets A through G requirements. 15.2 curriculum, revise science course, agricultural chemistry meets A through G requirements. 15.3 curriculum, revise world language courses, Spanish for Spanish speakers 1 and Spanish for Spanish speakers 2 meets A through G requirements. Next item, 15.4 business, is the revolving cash report, March 2020. Our next item, 16.1, closed session if necessary.
Not necessary this evening, Mr. Stafford.
Okay, thank you, Superintendent Bennett. Action item number 18.1 is discipline, Board of Review of Discipline Matters. Do I have a motion?
So move.
Trustee Arau,
Second.
second. I mean, Dr. Arau, I'm getting off course here. Dr. Freeman. You can go ahead and vote. And we're going to take an oral vote. That's Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Dr. Arau,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nellison, Trustee Nellison.
Sorry, aye.
Okay. And myself, aye. 18.1 passes 5-0. 19.1, other items by the superintendent.
And just one thing, I was remiss in not thanking my administrative team, the principals, assistant principals, this cabinet, who have been going out and helping with serving the food at the school site, whether it's packing bags of lunches and breakfast for the kids or being there handing them to them or sliding them out on a tray. They've done a great job of pitching in and helping where we needed help all the time at the time. So I want to make sure that was brought into the record also.
Okay. Thank you, Superintendent Bennett. Item 20.1, other items by the Board of Trustees. Let's start with Trustee Garcia.
I just want to point out, because I've heard a lot of talk recently about how we vote. I want people to know that we get the agenda before everybody else, and it's up to us to review them, and we don't collaborate with anybody else. We make our own decisions based on the information we have. And I think it's important for the public to be aware that we vote that way for oh my gosh, now the word just slipped my mind, for accountability. And I think it's important the public knows that. And if they sound like we're doing something to be on the same page with other people, that's not the case. We're doing it because we believe we're making the right decision for the students and the staff and the community. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Garcia. Dr. Arau.
Nothing at this time, President Stafford.
Thank you, Dr. Arau. Dr. Freeman.
Just to add to what Trustee Garcia said, if we were to do something like that, it would be a violation of the Ralph M. Brown Act anyway. So, we don't do things illegally. We do it just as Trustee Garcia said. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Dr. Freeman. Trustee Nellison.
I would just like to reiterate that everybody stay safe, please, and thank you to everybody who's doing whatever they can in our district, and just keep up the good work. Thank you.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you, Trustee Nelson. And myself, I omitted a group that I want to give a special thank you for the work that they do, and that is our district custodians. We have a heavy job ahead of us. You guys have been working hard throughout the years. You keep your sites in excellent condition. You're appreciated. I have a special connection with you, and I just want to thank you for everything you do. Please embrace the new procedures. Let's encourage all of our students and staff and administrators and everyone to help the custodians along. Because the easier you make their job, the more thoroughly they can do their job. So thank you guys very much. You're well appreciated, as well as all that are involved, volunteers, and anyone with the Perris Union High School District. And students, we miss you, and we want to see you soon. Please stay sharp. We want you to come out of our district with a great education and a great future. So thank you. With that, we'll move to our last item, which usually have no trouble with.
So moved.
21.1.
I was letting Dr. Freeman have that one. Second.
That's adjournment. So we have Dr. Freeman with the motion and Trustee Nelson with the second. We'll wait for the vote, and then we'll do the oral vote. Okay, we'll go with the oral vote. Trustee Garcia,
Aye.
Dr. Rao,
Aye.
Dr. Freeman,
Aye.
Trustee Nelson,
Aye.
and myself, aye. We are now adjourned at 7:06 p.m.
Oh, thank goodness.
Okay, everybody, they can shut down.